What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scream Sanctuary. As always, I'm your host, Silent. So today's video is going to be kind of a loose review on Terrifier. For those that have not seen Terrifier, it is a slasher type film. It's currently on Netflix, by the way. For those of you who have not seen it and don't have Netflix, I'll link below some YouTube and Prime links in case you guys want to rent it. But the movie Terrifier is kind of like a modern day slasher would be the best way I can describe it. So the killer is Art the Clown, who is played by David Howard Thornton. And the plot is kind of like your basic slasher plot. It's a little bit predictable. Two girls go out on Halloween night. One of them gets super plastered, and they end up finding their way into trouble and run into Art the Clown, and from then it becomes your typical slasher. But I will say the number one thing that stands out with this movie is David's character and his portrayal of Art. And I will say, when I first seen Terrifier, I literally skipped across it like probably 15 to 20 times on Netflix scrolling through, because in my head it looks super cheesy, and I didn't see the point of watching it. And lo and behold, me and Phantom went to Days of the Dead Chicago this year, as many of you know if you've been subscribed to this channel. We went to Days of the Dead, and David Howard Thornton was doing a panel with Kane Hodder, Warrington Gillette, who plays part 2 Jason. And I believe it was Jim Thornton. I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. I know his first name is Jim. He played Michael Myers in the original Halloween. So they were all doing a panel together talking about their respective characters. David Howard Thornton just so happened to be there. And I was just sold on how funny this guy was. And that's kind of what led me to watch Terrifier after that, because I was like, okay, well, it can't be that bad if, he seems like a really cool dude, so I might as well watch the movie and support it. And I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. Just David's character alone, like, there were times in this movie where just his facial expressions alone would have me cracking up. Besides that, the movie is your typical gore fest, though, so if you don't like blood, I wouldn't recommend it. There are a couple scenes, one in particular that shall not be named, because if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there are a handful of scenes in the movie where are really gross. But if you like gore like I do, and you like slasher type films, this is totally something you should go watch, and I cannot recommend it enough. I think for a slasher today, this movie does a really good job at kind of freshening up the slasher genre, because it's been decades since we've had a good slasher. And I mean, Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers all came out around the same time, so it's definitely been a while since we've had a good slasher type film, and I feel like this is kind of like a fresh start for the genre again. I should say subgenre. But yeah, I totally recommend this movie. It was super, super cool listening to David Howard Thornton talk. I guess I can talk about some of the fun facts that we kind of learned while we were there at the panel. So, a little bit of background about David. He was actually working on Broadway as a understudy for Stefan Carl, aka Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. Rest in peace, Robbie Rotten, by the way. And he actually got the job. The original actor that played Art in All Hallows Eve, I believe is the name of it, never came back for his role in Terrifier. David ended up seeing a casting call for it, had his agent send in a request and whatnot to audition for Art. And he came in and did like a cartoony style decapitation kill, where he snuck up behind a guy, decapitated him, tasted the head, um, decided it didn't taste good, salted it, and then everything was golden. So that's kind of how we got the role for Art the Clown, which is a cool story that he told during the panel. He also talked about the makeup and whatnot. I made a note that the makeup for Art was easy in comparison to that of Jason's makeup. Obviously, Michael Myers just wore a mask, but yeah. So we learned a lot about his role as Art, and that kind of is what made me go and watch it in the first place. Because, like I said, if you were just to see this movie, I think it's something that a lot of people would skip across, or maybe not so much now because it's a movie that's been out for a while that a lot of people know of now. Um, but yeah, great movie, really cool guy. I totally recommend watching it. And just like I was blown away like by David's acting in this movie. And like I said, there were parts of this movie where I was just cracking up because I couldn't get enough of his facial expressions alone. Just and the way that he moves. I mean, he's a silent killer, obviously, so he doesn't have any lines, which he joked about made it very easy to remember his lines in the movie because there literally are none. Um, but yeah, super good movie. I totally recommend it. Um, so yeah, Terrifier. Go watch it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.